shake and throw, okay, away.
Shake,
Um,
don't stomp.
okay, and and then like the whole, she called it a reveal. It needed to be a hell. I don't know what to call it. It was bad.
It was
Next,
bad. It was bad from the very beginning to the end. I didn't like
from
it.
the fucking start. I just I think Tina Burner is a very talented drag queen. I think
Yes.
that she has really turned her looks up. Break out laughing. Hey there, everybody. We're gonna start sharing this, and we're gonna get here started. We'll get here started. I'm so glad to have you all back again for our sixth week in a row here at Drag from the Left, a weekly digital series where we review episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, as well as current and relevant social issues from a radical
Hmm.
leftist perspective. I am your hostess with the very mostest, the very Reverend Dr. Juanita Bind'Em.
Oh, that's my turn, right?
Uh-huh.
Um, I am Avery. My drag name this week is Addison Montgomery. For all my Grey's Anatomy
Yes.
fans out there, you know Grey's Anatomy is my favorite
Yes.
show.
Go, go, go,
So,
go, 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 go. And this is Drag from the Left.
don't tell my
We
mom, yo.
are and we gonna get into this real quick. We're gonna get into this week. So we are back with another week of RuPaul's freaking Drag Race. The world is still crumbling down around us. It is
Hmm.
snowing this week here in Northeast Ohio.
Hmm.
Um, and I know like you're like, well, don't it always snow in Cleveland? Yes, it do, but we've been having a really light winter lately, and it's going back to how it used to be in the olden days.
Yeah.
And I was enjoying my little moderate winter, and
Yeah.
this real winter she can go. Exit stage left.
Yeah. It is not only
Um,
snowing, but it is freezing outside.
oh, it's cold.
like
It's
it's
very
like
cold.
it's like 19 degrees feels like 3 degrees.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
haven't
like,
left my
I had
house.
the heat on. I thought I had the heat on, but I was like, maybe it's not up high enough. I don't.
Yeah. No, it's up high. It's just hella cold outside.
It's very that. Um, so let's get into this episode. We have just sent home Joey J. Joey J just left us. La La Ree looked a hot ass mess, but ultimately came out triumphant in the lip sync, and we are entering ourselves back into this workroom for another week. Another
Yes,
week.
we
Broad
are.
thoughts. What are we thinking?
So my overall thoughts was robbery.
Robbery.
Pure robbery. The top was off, the bottom was completely off. Not completely off, but like I would have switched some people around for sure. Like didn't really agree with who was in the top. I'm not to get ahead of ourselves, but I'm glad who won. Finally, they're getting some recognition. Um, and the
Yeah.
bottom was just not the bottom I would have picked either. So, I try to do my overall thoughts in one word, and I just put robbery. Several people
Yeah.
were robbed.
Robbery. Okay, armed robbery.
Highway. Yeah.
I my hard to get through. That is my broad thoughts. My broad thoughts are that episode 6 was hard to get through.
Oh, why?
There was just a lot of things going on in one episode, things I didn't like. It didn't have the normal spirit that I was looking for in the show, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So the girls are back in the workroom, and of course, we have just ended the tail end of the Candy versus Tamisha, one of the most epic untucks in Drag Race
Yeah.
history, and the
Hmm.
drama is still very, very real. Okay,
Yeah. They're just at this point they're just rehashing what each of them
I said
said.
what I
It's not
said,
really going anywhere.
and what did you
Right.
say? And what did I say? Roll the tape. Roll the tape.
Yeah, and like the funny thing is Candy was thinking she was making a point saying roll the tape. When we rolled the tape back, it was exactly word for word what Tamisha said that she said. So,
And that's what I said.
so like
um,
Candy thought she was proving the point, but like the tape said Candy just literally reiterated herself. Like it's
yeah.
right there in plain English. The reason why the problem isn't what she said or how she said it, it's how you received it. And that's fine. You are well within your rights to not like what she said and go off about it. But don't try to kind of jumble all her words out and then regurgitate them into something that she didn't actually say as a justification for why you went off. Like you went off because you went off, and it's okay. Like
Yeah.
I feel Candy when we get towards the latter end of the episode. How she was talking about how she doesn't want to be that angry girl anymore, how she doesn't really want to pop off at
Well,
everything.
girl, in
She
episode 5
wants
you
to,
was, and
yeah,
so
how she
it
wants
is
to
what it
be
is.
be able to control that emotion, and I get that because that's my testimony too. Like growing up, I was always the first one to pop off. I was always the loudest. I was the first one to cuss you out. Always down to fight. And as I've gotten older, I've tried to reel that in and not respond that way. Um,
Allegedly.
it still comes out when it needs to. Um, but I think I've done a good job of keeping it under control. And Candy was being a little bit too hard on herself, saying like it knocked her 10 steps back. Like, girl, that's a human emotion.
Like, did
You
it? Did it?
you
Did it
got
knock
you
you 10
got
steps back?
yeah, like you got defensive. You went off. Should you have? Probably not. Were you doing too much? Yes, but it was a human reaction. Like I hope I wish she wouldn't be so hard on herself for going off. Like you just went off. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, and as it unfolds, I'm certain we'll get into that a little bit more. I just want to start talking about tidbits of Olivia from the very beginning of the episode, and I'm gonna do these little interjections in between. In the previous maybe 2 or 3 episodes, Olivia Lux has not been getting a lot of screen time. They've
Right.
been the edit has been focused on some other subplots and storylines that are going on, and I am. Somebody made comments. No, not somebody. It was on. What is it called when? The pit stop. It was on the pit stop. I watched the pit stop. Which it was Trixie and Rock'em Sakura this week, and I thought it was anyway. But like on that episode, that's the guest you have. They must do them out of order or something, but I don't know. I don't think that was the best guest to compliment that episode. But
but I did like their banter
it was
back
cute.
and forth. Yeah.
But she has said that little moments where like Olivia isn't being noticed and she like pipes up. And I was like, that's exactly what you should do. When people don't hear you, you keep piping up until they do. And she was the one who got the conversation back started. So all right, guys, what's going on with what happened last time? She really been keeping the plot moving forward. And I don't know if they like tap you on your shoulder at the beginning, like, so you the one when it's too much quiet,
probably
you ask questions.
Yeah,
but
the PA is probably giving them singles like time for you to start it up.
All right. Miss Gottmik was like, there's some unfinished business. And I was like, is there?
Sit down, girl. Sit down. She's trying to get on my nerve.
Unfinished business. But lo and behold, dun dun dun, the screen comes on, they do that thing. Oh my god, yes, look at the screen. Like they always do every week, and Rue does some, cryptic message that is about getting groovy. So we know
that play on words.
Something groovy is about to be coming up. But before they get into something groovy, they got to do this little bitty mini challenge. So this week's mini challenge is a design challenge. Of course, it's all about those sponsorships on those mini challenges. So the girls are self-selecting groups this week, self-selecting groups, and they're going to use wallpaper supplied by Spoonflower to make these little outfits, and they got to do commentary, on the runway. This is a cute little correspondent, little mini challenge. I like mini challenges like this because after the girls leave the show, I do think, it's meant to be funny, but I do think there is something to be said that some of the girls when they leave the show, they do like e-correspondencing and like stuff like this. So it's in the genre of the work that's being done.
It's literally training them to be.
Yep, and that's what the challenge should be doing. It should be funny. It should be. That is for the after show. You said the dirty C word. Yes, it's cunt. I'm just
some of these were pretty cunt too, especially to make out of wallpaper in like 20 minutes. There was some good outfits here.
It was looking cute. So our groups, they paired up, and the pairs was a surprise. It was such a shocking way that the groups are paired up. So we have, and I made little nicknames for these groups. So we got the self-titled Mean Girls, which is Candy Muse, Gottmik, and Tina Burner. I don't know her. Then I got the Psychos, which is Rose and Denali. And then I labeled this group the Underdogs, which is Elliot with 2 T's and Tamisha. Then we got I Got Stuck with the Weirdo, which is Olivia Lux and Utica Queen. And then we have Chocolate Drop, which is my 2 beautiful chocolate divas, the Simone and Lalari. So they go through, and they make these little outfits. Were there anybody's little outfits that you thought was real cute with their little wallpaper?
I actually agree with the winners, Tamisha and Elliot. That was actually really good.
Again, that outfit was hot.
Elliot had that damn wig on again. She needs to burn that. Burn that wig. But the outfit itself, was really dope, and I liked the Utica's and Simone's too.
Okay, Miss Utica walking in like she was one of them little blind monsters from what's that show? She looked like some type of creepy night crawler, and then fell off the stage being silly little Utica, and Candy was like, "Where's you going?"
They was all looking at her like, what are you doing now? Like, what's happening?
I too was confused and was not understanding. But hey, it made me giggle, and her dress was cute too. Her dress was a little cute too. And so the mini challenge, like you said, goes to Elliot with 2 T's and Tamisha. I thought that was cute. I'm glad Tamisha collected her some mini challenge wins. $2,500 to spend on customized home decor from Spoonflower. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So now it's time for the meat and potatoes of it. It's challenge time. And they have announced that the main challenge will be Mama Rue's Disco Mentory, where the girls will be challenged to work in the pairs that they have already selected to do a dance number taking us through the arc of 70s disco music. And the groups are pretty much staying the same, but each group has a like a little theme. Each group got a little theme. So you got the birth of disco, which is the Mean Girls. And then you got Disco Sex, which is Tamisha and Elliot, my underdogs. Then we got Studio 54, which is my weirdos. I got stuck with the weirdo. And then we got Disco Fashion, honey. Put in Denali. We'll get to it. Denali Fashion. Anyway. Disco Psychos, Denali and Rose. And then we got Disco Sucks, and Miss Simone let us know that she can suck, and then was our chocolate drops on the Disco Sucks part. And we got a new choreographer, Miguel Zarate. They are new.
He's like cutie too.
They was very cute, and I went on there, look for them on Instagram. They only got 7 Instagram posts, so I think them getting on the show maybe part of a rebrand, them launching into the mainstream. They probably are a dancer and stuff like that, and this is one of their first breakout moments to be a choreographer and be on television. So I think like maybe wiping your IG and starting over is not a bad idea. Not a bad idea to stay and, focus on your new brand. They don't want to see pictures of you eating ice cream cones right now with your choreography. We want to see your choreography. Right. So it's excited. There's a new opportunity, and that it is a person that is not white, and that's nice to see. Or whatever. I really want them to have the ballroom girls come and do choreography though. Why Laomi not on here? Laomi need to be on here.
Well, Laomi said she wouldn't do it. I remember reading an interview probably a year ago, and the interviewer asked, I think it was on Out magazine. I could be wrong.
They won't stop calling her signature move a motherfucking death drop.
Yeah, and she was pretty much saying like, some of the things I do on our show is pretty disrespectful to the legacy of ballroom. So the interviewer asked,
and Rue know the legacy. So why would you anyway?
Yeah. The interviewer asked if they called you and asked if you would be a part of it, and she said I would decline.
Well, she's on the she's on an amazing.
Yeah, she got her own shit going on.
She got her thing. She been in Vogue magazine. The girls is doing what they wish she was doing. She been on reality TV back in the day when Lil Mama was disrespecting her, and meanwhile she was still killing it and serving it, doing what she had to do. I rewatched that moment the other day, and I was like, oh my God, early 2000s television was the cringiest thing I had ever seen, even cringier than vintage TV. Something was going on in the early 2000s. It was not okay.
Drugs.
Drugs. It was not okay.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay, so I have a question for you.
I have answers.
Do you have a favorite disco song?
Yeah. I do have a favorite disco song. So I like Don't Leave Me This Way, which I think is Thelma. I forget the last name. It was originally done by Teddy Pendergrass. Don't Leave Me This Way was originally done by Teddy Pendergrass. And then I also like Knock on Wood, which is Amy AMI. I forget her last name. But her. I need a fact checker on here.
Oh, that's right. One on standby.
How about you?
I don't know if Diana Ross's Swept Away is considered disco, but if it is, that's my favorite one.
It's Thelma Houston, and I don't know if that's considered disco.
I don't know if Swept Away is considered disco, but if it is. I also love Hangover. Diana Ross again.
Love Hangover.
14-minute long version. Yes. And then, of course, I'm going to be basic and also say Bad Girls by Donna Summers, because it just makes me Makes me feel good. Makes me feel away.
I saw the Donna Summer musical and it was absolutely stunning.
I
Absolutely
know it
stunning.
was. I
I
know.
have so like Broadway. Before the pandemic, Broadway the past couple years, the trend is to do all these jukebox musicals, which are musicals from chart topping artists, and they pretty much it's not even like a biopic or biography. They like the plot moving forward is based upon them playing singing they big top hits, you know. And it feels very Dragalicious, and I've seen them be done kind of poorly, and like I don't know. I like Broadway to continue to serve me high art, but the Donna Summer one was so beautiful. You got to hear so much in her backstory, or whatever. They tried to fix her little moment where she said God made Adam and Eve and not Adam and Steve when in one of her last concerts before she stopped touring. Where she wanted the girls to do something, but all the gay boys was in the front getting their life, and she was upset. She wanted her girls. I say that in quotations because I mean maybe it was the girls, but anyway, they tried to fix that little moment, and I was like, I don't know if you can fix it because she did, but whatever. They did acknowledge it at least. They had her actor apologize on the behalf of her spirit, I guess.
That don't make no damn sense.
That's so made sense.
All right. Lord have mercy. All right, so do we want to take a break real quick?
Wait. My other one is Knock on Wood. My other one is Knock on Wood by Amy Stewart. That's what her name is, Amy Stewart. And I first fell in love with that song because Fantasia sang it on her season of American Idol.
This is why we're friends, because yes, she Fantasia sure did.
And I was like, oh, Diana DeGarmo ain't winning shit. Absolutely not. And I think that was the week where the top. That was right before it was time for the finale. I was like, baby.
She
Diana
did her
DeGarmo,
little.
You can try it if you want to.
Fantasia did her little shuffle step across that stage singing that song.
Our preemptive glimpse into when she started to exemplify Patti LaBelle. God. And I think that girl named Aloha or Konnichiwa, whatever her name was still in the top 3 because remember LaToya was robbed. LaToya should have been in that finale.
Yeah, she should have.
Let's be honest, the only person who probably could have beat Fantasia had been eliminated: Jennifer Hudson and LaToya. Yeah. And now Diana DeGarmo can sing, but don't y'all? Fantasia singing
against those 3
is legendary. It's legendary. Okay, but
anyway, I remember when. Because you know me and my mom, we watched that season together. I think it was Monday nights it came on. Every Monday night at 8:00. We was in. I remember calling in on a landline and voting for Fantasia. Me too. But I remember when Fantasia, Jennifer, and the other girl, for your name, the other black girl, they was in the bottom together. LaToya, they were in the bottom together. And I was... The
Divas. They had been named by the media the Divas.
Me and my mom were pissed.
That was a TV setup. That's when I knew TV was fake. That's when I knew that shit was fake. Because ain't no fucking way all 3 of them. I'm sorry, excuse my mouth, Lord. Forgive me for I have sinned several times today. And we'll be doing so as soon as the podcast is over. No, that was a setup. That was a setup from the beginning. That was a setup by Todd.
That was a setup by Todd.
Child, we kick here ha tonight.
Yes.
I'd like to take a brief moment
Let's take a break real quick.
To hear some words from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Just all off topic.
All right, everybody, and we're back. Thank you for tuning in to Drag from the Left, a weekly digital series where we review RuPaul's Drag Race and relevant social issues from a radical leftist perspective. I'm your hostess with the very mostest, the very Reverend Dr. Juanita Bind'Em.
Yes, and this is Avery. My drag name this week is Addison Montgomery.
Yes, guzzle, guzzle, guzzle. And we are back. The girls have been selected, and we're going to get right back on topic. So the girls have been selected. They in their groups. They got this new choreographer. How do you, during the part where they're rehearsing, how do you feel about what's going on with the groups? Who is making you think they go do good right now? Like, how you feel?
And that's the thing about this show and the rehearsal shots, because the rehearsal 9 times out of 10 does not look anything like the actual production, the end product looks like. But just solely based on the rehearsals, it looks like the mean girls are going to struggle. Looks like Lala Ray is going to kill it, which she did, but we'll get there. Um, and then, of course, it looked like Tamisha was going to have some problems, but I did like that she was able to explain some of the reasons why she is not at 100.
Yeah, I want to.
Still kept the choreography too, though.
Yeah, I want to talk about Tamisha extensively and call in, call out. So if you could just like bear with me with her a little bit during the first half, I feel you on that. That's what I was feeling too. And I think the funny part about the Mean Girls, did y'all see that picture that they posted? Somebody that went viral online. It's like the Muppets, and it's like got Mick. It's Ronald McDonald, the big purple burglar monster from McDonald's, and then the little duck character as
no. Who posted that?
You know, the people on Twitter is hilarious.
That's not nice.
Fucking hilarious. I am okay. I see y'all liking it. Y'all want us to play some messages real quick? Y'all want us to play some messages?
We might as well. It's 4 in here.
Let's do it. Let's go. And I swear, if y'all play some shit with me today, we are not doing no more listening this episode. Y'all could try me if y'all want to.
Shit, my name Rob. Big Rob. You know.
How you doing? All right,
man. Cute.
You did sound cute. You know, just follow us on here, and then you know.
I think as well, sometimes you hear what you want to hear, and in life we have the benefit of not having it being recorded, so we can say this is what they said, and I said this, and then that was said. But in Candy's mind, she 100% thinks she's right. Like in her mind, she 100% heard something completely different to what Tamisha was saying.
Yeah, and I want to get into that after we talk about this rehearsal.
I do want to get into that too.
When you on your island, when you are sitting on your island all by your lonesome, anything could be true. But the rest of us watching, it's something different. It's something different. And I think Candy will be able to watch back how she looks on television and understand that it is not the edit, and that there are parts within ourselves that we need to work on. And it doesn't mean, and I'm saying this right here because I think the amount of hate that Candy is getting on the internet it's disgusting. It's vile.
And it absolutely has to do with the way she presents, the way she looks, her race.
Well, here we go. We have a fat Afro Latinx queer drag queen on television who is being berated on the internet, even by her contemporaries, colleagues, and peers about the way that she speaks. Why wouldn't you register everything that comes your way as an attack, you know?
Right.
What I've had enough of. RuPaul is like more than double the age of half the girls on the show. So why is she always coming with these old references and expecting them to know what she's talking about? Like, can they not use references that's from like 2000s onwards? Always with these old references, and if you don't get the reference, it's like, oh, you don't know your gay references, and it's like, I would, but these references are literally older than my parents.
That is so real. Like this 21-year-old and you 60. Like, come on.
Well, first off, didn't none of them act like they knew inkling about disco? And
I know what disco rocks movement. I mean, I know what the disco sucks movement is, but I also teach history. So
right, I don't know. I do think. I think there's something to be said about there needing to be people or persons on the panel that have, there needs to be intergenerational things happening on that panel. There needs to be some more young faces in the panel because I think it again, we had the whole example with Monique Hart. Like the not understanding references really takes into play how the show is edited, how it's received, how well the girls doing their marks. If the judges don't understand what you're trying to serve, and I can understand if you are serving something that is like cult classic, maybe not understood, but these be references that the masses, should know. I do think the girls should know something about the 70s and the disco era. These are iconic archetypal parts of history. I mean, 70s, there was more things going on in the 70s than disco, but that's the thing that goes with it, right? Like people know that, and they're not asking for those little cute things that only people from the 70s would know about. And the girls know that Rue's 60 years old. So I don't know why you would come to Drag Race and not know you some disco here and there. That is, again, that was just a little interesting to me. I'm gonna play this last voice message.
See, my problem here is everybody says, "Oh, wow, Tamisha is so inspirational because she was able to do this with the ostomy bag and celebrating the fact that she's done it with the ostomy bag and she didn't ask for special treatment." But I think we need to create a space where people don't feel bad about saying, I've got this thing that is making it harder for me. Can we make like a reasonable adjustment so that I'm on the same level playing field as everyone else and I can do what I'm supposed to do and I'm able to do what I'm supposed to do and I'm not just going to struggle through this because I need to like pretend I'm fine. I think she should have been able to, like, she should have felt comfortable. Like, as a society, we should make it so people feel more comfortable that they can just be like, yeah, I've got this stoma bag. Like, I don't want to do hula hooping. You need to give me something I can do with an ostomy bag.
Thank you so much for saying that and bringing that to our attention. We're going to get into that in about a half an hour, so bear with us because we're going to have a whole
because it's coming. Absolutely,
call in, call out is primarily going to be dedicated to our boo. So they're in here doing this choreography, and we see from the jump that Utica is having a little trouble in there, and in this moment I'm feeling like not my back going backwards and not knowing what I know now. I was like, Utica go do what she go do, and she go put her spin on. She go, I think the judges give her a hard time because they're not performing the type of drag that they would like her to. I think I think Utica has a strong grasp of her point of view and the type of performer and artist that she is and would like to be. And I think the expectations that they're putting on her are very limiting to her, and they should be encouraging her to stretch out further rather than trying to reel and mold her into what she want to be. I think it's funny that Candy and her little synopsis confessional talking about she ended up with the partners with 2 left feet, but she the one having the hardest time in her group doing what needed to be done. I thought it was the mean girls. I thought them was your little minions, the girls that's rooting for you.
That you love so much.
Listen, that she loves so much.
So look, you want to get right into the performance.
I do want to get into. I want to get to the performance. I do want to point out. So during the workroom break, Olivia was discussing their journey with weight loss, which so I think that's interesting because they've been talking. And I've mentioned on the podcast that people have a lot of concerns about like the way in which she pads. And over the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking because like she does that, she has like more of an apple shape in drag, more like a pear shape in drag. When she's small and tight, she'd be real thick in the thigh.
She pads herself to look bigger than she is.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. And I believe it is intentional, and I know tons of people shape that way.
So glad you said that.
And there are tons of people shaped that way.
And now that we know the backstory, it makes sense to why she passed this way. That might be where she feels the most comfortable. And I get the sense that Olivia didn't mind that she was big. I think that she minded that other people minded that she was big. So she felt that she needed to change it. But she might have been, and again, disclaimer, we do not know these people. This is pure speculation of what we have seen.
Right.
But I think that she was just fine with herself, the way she looked. And, drag is, some people approach it differently. For some people, it's a character. For other people, they get into drag to really get into who they really are, right? And maybe that's where she feels the most comfortable. And there's not nothing wrong with that. And then the negative reaction to her patting herself to look thicker than she is solely based in fat phobia. Like it has
period.
Because they're like, she looks so good slim. She looks so good skinny. Why would she ever want to make herself look bigger than she is, right? It's not flattering, right? And all of those things.
And the illusion that she is serving is big body beautiful. And it's not in a way that is clownish or like performative. And her herself, Olivia, once a fat girl, always a fat girl. You know what I'm saying? When you have been part of that, no, absolutely not. And it's not like Olivia outer drag is like a beanpole, not extreme. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think people need to be careful about the way in which we comment on people's bodies. And I think most frequently the answer is to not comment on people's bodies. But I need to call myself, and we need to call ourselves out on that. She said to quote, I don't even look at the scale anymore. As long as I feel good, that's all that matters. And I thought that was a beautiful point, without her giving us like a 2-hour long, documentary about what it's like to grow up Black, queer, and fat. Just letting you know, like, yeah, my doctors told me that I was obese. My mom wanted me to do this, but through this, I was able to discover art and theater, which is probably how she got moving and active. She didn't have to play a sport to do it. Theater and doing what you love, you can get active in so many different type of ways. And she said it took her a long time to love her body. So again, one speculation, but I think what she's really trying to say to people realistically with this quote is like, you can lose the weight, you can change the nose, you can add the weave, you can take it off, you can go big or small, but all in all, there has to be another layer to it in order for us to feel, really fulfilled and comfortable, in ourselves. We can become the objects that we want to be. You can do whatever you want to do, fat, skinny, thin, up and down, right? But it's another layer that needs to be peeled. And it seems like Olivia has a very strong concept of self, and I think that is pretty to look at.
She does. And like, Olivia continues to impress me, not oppress me, Lord. To impress me, because the shade was that she was so young. How could she possibly be here with all of us seasoned girls? But she has risen to the challenge and set the mark, even though she hasn't got recognition up until this week, but week after week for me. And like you said, she has a strong sense of self. I think she has a strong sense of her drag and her art, which is why she's performing so well with only having to do this, 2 years in.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the most seasoned to be the most put together. Like, as long as you are fully realizing your person, that's going to reflect in your art form. And I think that's what we're seeing in Olivia.
And I'm glad that Olivia's here now. I'm glad that she didn't wait. I'm glad that she is on the show right now. I'm enjoying every second that they allow us to see her on television. I think Olivia is a contender, and I am very proud to see that she continues to fight to be seen, to fight to be noticed, and to do her drag to the very best. And I would like to let y'all know right now, I know Olivia got the best wigs in this motherfucking contest.
Come on.
Period. Her hair's been looking cute. The only wig that I thought was a little funny was the one she entered the workroom in, and even that was creative and cool and interesting. But that's the only one that I thought was a little weird. But I like every piece of hair that this girl.
Every piece of hair that she brings, like, it's so good, and she matches it so well with her costumes, and they sit perfect with her skin tone and her makeup, so much
texture in her hair.
Yes. She is not afraid of that. With the note I worked for, and not to get ahead of ourselves, but the note I put for her runway was, "Come on, wig," in all caps.
So I'm gonna need you to remember that you said that, because when we get to the runway, I want you to say it again.
I'm gonna say it again.
I want to say it again. I want to take a moment to again take a nod back to Miss Utica Queen. Utica asked Candy. She said, "Tell us about your worst fight."
Yeah. Utica is so precious, because you can tell she's so sheltered and didn't grow up around nothing like this. She probably didn't know no Black people right up until the point she started doing drag. Right? She was like,
fight.
You're from the hood? Tell me all about it.
Tell me about it, baby. It was so endearing though. Like, it was so cute. I thought it was adorable. And then Candy was like, "All my worst battles is with the voices inside my head."
Which was a really actually good media trained answer. Like, instead of going like, "Oh, just one time I beat the shit out of this boy," like, she literally brought it back to the pageant answer. Like, the worst battles I fight, the one with myself. Like,
but it's also
which is real though. It's also so very true.
We got to hear Candy talk about just, again, her concept of self and why she's so defensive. And while that does not excuse us committing acts of harm and being out of the way to anybody, it does allow us, like, again, these circumstances are real and they should be taken into consideration. And I think her opening up and telling and discussing that allows us to get to a place of understanding and accountability making and so forth and so have you. I thought that was super, super, super cute. And then during that break, they really piled some good stories in that little break.
Yeah, we got like 3 or 4.
Hearing Tamisha talk about Miss Kim was a really beautiful moment. About when Tamisha was little and, she lived in the projects, and there was a lady who started a cheerleading team. Wasn't no football team. They had them some little stump shake cheers going on, baby. And I really resonate with Tamisha talking about she wanted to be one of the cheerleaders. All I wanted to ever be was a cheerleader. But Alex played football, Alex run track, Alex do this. I wanted to kick and dip and split and twirl and shout and yell. And I would have they always wanted me to exercise. I would have been doing all the exercise. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But to see that somebody in the community saw talent in Tamisha and nurtured it instead of berating them and punishing them and telling them that everything about them, the things that actually made them special, were wrong. They actually spoke power and love into their life. And now we have Tamisha here, and for her hear her say that I always wanted to make it big in Hollywood and to go to Hollywood. Right. And that's exactly where she is right now at 50 years old. I think that says a lot of things about how we view age. I think that says a lot about how we view our trajectory. I feel that it says a lot about who's allowed to win and who's not, and the politics of desirability attached to that. And at what point and when. And the answer is it happens when it's meant for you to happen. And you can do it over and over again. And you can reinvent yourself over and over again as many times as you so choose, whenever you feel like it. And I thought that was cute.
I did too. I appreciate, especially our Black queens, talking about their community. If we go back a few weeks ago, when someone was talking about the first time she got in drag, and it was at her prom, and her principal was like, "Oh, that's just Reggie going in," like very supportive, not judgmental. And now we have this similar narrative from Tamisha. It really speaks to the community that Black people had to build. Like, it really speaks to, like, you know, the whole "it takes a village to raise a child." Like, that's something that not come out of nowhere. Like, that is real. Like, we grew up in Black communities in impoverished neighborhoods or whatever, and I'm sure we have stories of either people at church or people at school or just a neighbor who saw, and what's unique about both of their stories is that these people saw the queerness in them and decided not to make it a big deal and to just support them and love on them. And I'm sure we have similar narratives to that as well. Like, no one ever talked about it. They didn't make it a big deal. They didn't make us explain it or come out. They was just like, "Baby, I know you're different and I got you."
Exactly.
And I really appreciate those people in our communities. As I get older, I want to be that person in my different communities. Just to support people. Like, you don't have to explain anything to me. Like, I'm just here to make sure that you are supported and loved on. And I really appreciate that we're getting some of these narratives, especially from our Black queens this season.
Yeah, because that is definitely is a juxtaposition to how, even despite telling these stories, the TV likes to paint us, right? And again, I had a conversation with you earlier this week around the topic of desirability and who's allowed, you know, really comes into play. And then also, like, as much as the trauma is true and we should speak to the experiences of that, it's not where it starts or stops. And there's joy wrapped in there as well. And those are the reasons why you're allowed to see these people on TV and to be here, because without those little individuals, those little ancestors who were rooting and shielding us and protecting us and validating us, we wouldn't be here. And so many of us are lost because of the lack of having that. I can imagine being on this podcast here with you all today, being able to talk to you about these topics so boldly as myself, without those few individuals who, many of which are not in my life at all anymore. And that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? But we're so monumental in me becoming the person that I am today. And I think, to make another comment regarding something that somebody said, our friend at the other podcast, they about them not knowing the disco songs. We have to remember that queer people lost so many of our ancestors and our leadership due to the AIDS epidemic. There were 2 generations of human beings that were lost. So there's a lot that is missing. You know, if things were different, I'm certain we would know a lot more. The intergenerational connections would be a lot different. The knowledge base, the leadership, the understanding would be, just the landscape will look different if we still had those people here with us, you know?
Agreed. Yeah, and it's important to not discuss these things outside of context, very important context, and where we're talking about, like, especially our queens of color. You know, like you said, we have whole generations of people. Like, the reason why our generations, we don't really have elders and things like that is because a lot of them have been wiped out and have gone on because of the epidemic that was allowed to completely ravage our communities.
And still is. I don't know if
yeah,
people
it
know,
still is.
we are not post HIV AIDS epidemic. The AIDS epidemic is still alive and real. There are thousands of new diagnoses every year, and people in the United States of America are still dying to AIDS related complications.
Yes.
Where we shouldn't see that happening at all. We for over a decade now, we've had every tool necessary to prevent and treat that from happening, but yet and still it continues to. And that is less about the individual, but more so about the systems in the world that the individual lives within. So, we just we got to keep that in our mind. We got to,
and they have huge racial and class implications. And I think we'll start to see the same trajectory, the same path with COVID-19. Doesn't look like it's going to be anything differently. We know that we won't be in a pandemic forever, but COVID-19 will probably be around for a very long time, if not forever. And the communities that's going to get hardest is our Black and brown, our working class, our impoverished communities, and that is by design.
Yep, and our multiply marginalized, and just like you said, it is intentional. It is on purpose. Yes. And thank you for listening to our TED Talk.
Look, again, off topic.
Look, you know why? It's because I didn't smoke enough weed. That's why. If I had to smoke some more weed, I would have been able to stay focused.
Yeah, we need to get I ran out of wine too, so that's what's happening.
And I can't see you no more, so we gotta stay. Hopefully, I can stay on task now that I can't see you. My laptop died.
Lord have mercy.
We gonna be okay.
It'll be all right.
So let's get into these runways. The category is LBD, baby. Little black dick.
Ain't no wrong with a little dick.
Ain't nothing wrong with no little. That's why.
Listen, you don't need a whole lot. The G spot is right there. You don't need a whole lot.
It's really right there. So, little black dress is the category. So let's get started for talking about Mama Ru on the runway. Did you like her Mama Ru's dress this week?
Oh, I thought she looked good. I like the hair. Raven has beat that face. That dress was cute. The color of that dress on her skin.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, she looked good.
I think Zaldi has been coming really hard this season. I don't know if Mama Ru and Zaldi had a conversation about like taking things in a new direction, or every so many years you need to kind of freshen things up. And I think these gowns are absolutely stunning and will definitely come into the repertoire. Some of the gowns of this era that will be seen as iconic. These looks are stunning. Raven taking over makeup for Ru was the best decision Ru could have ever made.
Best decision she ever made.
Absolutely the best decision. And you can see some of Raven's technique on how she does her face in Ru, but she's not imitating the Raven face on Ru. But you see a lot of these makeup artists, what they can beat their face in a particular way, and they do that same face in different colors on their clients instead of really getting creative. And I really respect Raven's ability as a makeup artist. And she won an Emmy this year, so that's really exciting.
Did she? Shout out to Raven.
She's an Emmy award-winning makeup artist now, and I think that is major for her career.
I enjoy Raven.
Me too, and I'm glad to see the girls off the show having those type of successes. Delta Work, I think, still does Ru's hair because she has some Emmys for that as well too. I do not necessarily I would like to see Ru with a new hairstylist. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think I think Ru's hair looks just fine, but I'd like Ru's hair to be like further on trend with the direction that hairstyle is going. Either on trend with it or setting a new one. And it's really kind of just, I think the styling is kind of passe.
Yeah, it's kind of stuck in the 80s.
Yeah, and I'd like to see something else. And then our judges this week, Miss Lonnie Love is back. It's Carson's turn. And we have Mama Ru and Michelle.
Ooh! Do you like Carson or Ross more?
I like Ross more. I want Ross. This is what I would, in my heart of hearts, this is what would happen. Michelle would go to every other week. Ru would still be here. Ross would become permanent instead of switching to every other week, and they would introduce a new judge who is a drag queen from a previous season but is out of drag. That would do it for me.
Yeah, I enjoy Ross more than I enjoy Ross more than Carson for sure.
Yeah, and their jokes are funnier, and they don't get on my nerves, and they say less racist things.
Yes, Carson's kind of mean this season too. Like uncharacteristically mean. Like everything okay at home, girl?
Probably not. It's Corona. Maybe her vibrator is broken and Amazon is late delivering a new one. I don't know.
All right, let's jump into these runways real quick.
Okay, first up to the runway is Miss Tina Burner. The category is Little Black Dress. Miss Tina Burner, how you feel about? Oh my God! I have something special.
Okay.
Listen up, everybody. If you are a fan of Drag from the Left, we are introducing a new segment on the show. And this segment is when we, instead of tooting and booting the looks of RuPaul's Drag Race, we call somebody a saint, meaning their outfit was sickening, or a sinner, meaning that the outfit should burn
I like this.
The outfit should burn and rot in hell. So we're going to do saint or sinner, and this will get us... Now, you're welcome to comment, but I need to hear saint or sinner from you on these outfits. And let's keep in mind on time. So let's go. Tina Burner, for me, this is sinner.
Sinner. And it has all the colors to burn in hell.
Period. The category was Little Black Dress. I don't know why it's red and yellow and orange. The category was Little Black Dress. I might have gave her a pass on the dress if her hair was not a hot ass mess.
Oh, that wig was so ugly. Party City.
That wig was so ugly.
Shake and go realness.
Shake and throw. Okay.
Shake don't stomp.
Okay. And then like the whole, she called it a reveal. It needed to be a hell. I don't know what to call it. It was bad. Next.
It was bad. It was bad from the very beginning to the end. I didn't like it.
From the fucking start. I think Tina Burner is a very talented drag queen. Yes. I think that she has really turned her looks up in comparison to what I've seen her in previously, because I was familiar with Tina before the show. And when the show got announced, I went back and went through their catalog of work, and I think they have really upgraded. Excuse me, I got a burp. Excuse me. And they it's better, but it's not on par. And with that being said, we can on to the next one. Candy Muse.
How did you feel about this?
I'm gonna say that this one is a born again Christian, so it committed a lot of sin, but there is some things that maybe are forgivable and redeemable. I don't know, but it's mostly leading to the center side. My primary issues with it is that there's more white in scale on this than there is black. And the black paint strokes are not even really true black. They almost look kind of like it's not opaque enough. And I think what would have looked better is if the dress I know it's a bit of a Comme des Garçons take on the Princess Di Revenge dress, but I'm not really getting it. The proportion is off. Benji said the dress is simultaneously too little and too big at the same time.
Oh, Benji, that's not nice.
And so too little and too big at the same time. It was okay. I'm realizing I'm not a fan of this wet hair look, and I did not like the black paint on her face. And I also thought the shoe was a bad choice. It looked like a hoof. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea behind it. I think the execution was a little off. Like, I feel like if another queen with a little bit more polish tried to do the same, probably for a different category, but if they tried to do the same look, then it could have been sickening. But
yeah, it just wasn't quite right.
It just wasn't quite right.
Got Mick.
Nerve. I wrote nerve in all caps.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a saint. I'm gonna give it a saint for the nerve.
That's a saint.
It was a big statement. I am really appreciating how much that Gottmik is showing their chest. I know that for some individuals that is a bit of a process, and mostly because of how the world responds to us. People are disgusting. I do think that was a very bold idea. I think it actually was a legitimate little black dress, so there was camp involved. My issue is that since there was so much skin exposed, I would have loved to see some more elevation with the accessories and the styling. I would have liked their skin to be a little bit more luminescent, maybe completely, highlighter everywhere,
some body lava.
Yeah, some Fenty Body Lava, the nipple pasties and the bedazzled jewels. I may have like added down through the waistline and stuff and made a more of a body contour with it and stuff. But I do think it was bold, and Boo Boo had to be waxed from the rooter to the tutor, so I would have never donned that look on this show.
Ever. I liked it though. She ate. She definitely ate.
Speaking of, nah, never mind. I'm gonna leave that joke to myself. Elliot with 2 T's.
Oh, you about to be mean.
Elliot with 2 T's.
Sinner, and not that it was a bad look. It was just simple. Like,
why are we?
She looked okay, and I'm glad she had a different wig on. She looked good, but it was just a lazy interpretation of the challenge. I guess that's my problem with it was. It was just lazy.
I agree. I think it was a lazy interpretation of the challenge. I don't understand why they didn't clock her for wearing a coat that was bigger than the dress. It's not a coat challenge. And I think her makeup's fine. And whatnot. And she did good in the challenge, but I do not. Again, why are we wearing unstyled wigs? That is a wig out of a package. That is what the wig looked like when it was delivered. Why is it not styled?
She just
do the girls not have all it take, boo boo, is some wire mesh rollers and a steamer. If you don't got a steamer, you can use your iron on the steam setting and then curl those out. It's so many YouTube videos for this. You could just sit up in your house and do this while you doing other stuff. Next.
You are disgusting.
Next, Tamisha Iman. Holla at me. I know you know me.
Great.
This was cute. First, the category is little black dress. It was classy. It was a little black dress. The legs was right. The makeup was right. The hair was right. I like her style. Tamisha's drag, and she talked about this. She comes from the era when her type of drag is birthed, and it's really lies in the aesthetic of female impersonation, the female illusion artist. And I buy the illusion. Like that hairstyling is giving me somebody like a beautiful black woman off a Dark and Lovely ad campaign from back in the day.
Yes, that is very specific and spot on.
Yeah, or like Emotions relaxer ad or something like that. I'm really into it. It's cute. She did, however, say that the dress was not finished. She left the pieces to it at home because like, and all the girls do this from time to time. You just packing so much stuff, And if you don't have a list and an assistant helping you, it's kind of complicated. But it was supposed to have all of these black jewels hanging from it as well, to kind of go with the ruching, but she missed that. But I thought she looked good, especially in comparison to some of the stuff that I saw before. I liked it more than Candy's, and I liked it more than Elliot's.
And Tina's definitely.
And Tina's. Olivia Lux.
Come on, wig. Because this wig on her face
is right, baby.
Right. Oh my goodness, she looked good. That's a beautiful drag queen. Like, that is a stunning ass drag queen. Olivia's top 4, top 3 material. Like,
absolutely. Hi, everybody. I see the waves. Thank you so much for interacting. We're going to get to you all's questions in just a moment. Thank y'all so much for being on the line with us. I think she made this garment. It looks good. The styling was right. Little black dress, cute. I don't think it was something like the out of the way, but it served the purpose. It was cute. It was clean, and you can't find any faults with it. And I appreciated that.
And she brought her little ass purses back.
Period.
They came back.
The only thing she didn't do was tell us she could play the piano again.
Right.
Utica Queen.
Okay.
No, Sinner.
Okay. We love some Utica on this podcast.
We do.
And I actually did not mind the dress and the hat and the concept behind her costume. What threw me off were those big red lips, and you know what I'm talking about. They triggered me. They triggered me. And I understand she had the big lipstick. It's not. I know that's not what she meant. There was no blackface involved, howsoever. As a nigga, I was triggered. I was like, girl, this could have went wrong if you would have done this any other way besides the way that you did it. But she caught a lot of slack for this look, and I did not think it was bad at all. I will say that the lips triggered me, but I think that she looked just fine.
I didn't like this one. I understand how this could have it didn't read well from the runway, and it didn't read well on television to me. Those type of concepts, they gave her a good note. It was like, it's okay to be inspired by whatever you're inspired by, but like we need to understand it, and not like it needs to be like so outright, but you have to, again, it has to have that instant effect. Like the little, if she had just wore the plain little, I feel like the little plain black dress with the hook on the top, they would have thought that she was like a dress on the hanger, and that could have been cute or something. Like she could have even did her elbows. Could have been the metal that made the triangle points, and then the hook came out the top. But we couldn't, the scale, like I couldn't see the earrings, and then like it's gold and red is distracting from like it's a little black dress challenge. However, it did photographically well, and it was creative. Denali also tried to be creative this week. She is a Black Widow spider, and you know what I like to do with spiders?
What?
I like to smash them with a shoe.
And normally I do too, but Denali looked cute here. I give this a say.
Okay.
This was, and you know I'm saying something nice about Denali, especially her runways. They're not my favorite.
Hell has froze over. Hell is frozen.
Right. But I think she looked cute. I like the interpretation. I like the dress. I like the beating. This was probably my favorite look from her. I think she looked really good. Really good.
On that, I can agree. This is my favorite look from her. But for me, saying that this is my favorite look on the 6th episode of the show, including the things that she has worn in promo, I don't know. I am realizing that I do not like Denali's taste. I don't like how, I think she's that girl who just can't dress. Everybody went to high school with the girl who was cute. She was nice, she was cute, but she couldn't dress. And it wasn't because she was broke. It's because she just did not have a sense of style. And that's what I get from her. I would like to see an evolution of that. Yeah, no. Rose.
Saints. I thought she looked great.
Okay, so I want to give this a center too, and this is why. The dread. I like Rose. I'm a fan of Rose. That is the type of queen that, again, she is a true performer, and like she said, she's an actor first. And I tend to lean towards the girls who take their drag you're in all the work that you do, but that really present their drag as performance art. I tend to lean more heavily towards it. And I don't think the scale of that was good. Like in the back, it looked like the bodice of a little black dress. But in the front, it was a little wide, and the shape didn't have the contours of a body in a dress to me. And I was overwhelmed by the tulle. Like the little black dress needed to be, more littler. And then the frill could have came out. And also, it's a little black dress challenge. The tulle should have also been black. The tulle should have also been black. She could have killed me with the gray hair. That would have killed it. The silver gray hair, fabulous. But the little black dress, not gray, not white, not burgundy, black, negro, black.
You are in rare form tonight. I see it, but I do like the dress was like the tulle operated as like a frame, and the dress was like the picture. So like to me, the tulle working as a frame brought more attention to the little black dress. I like how it's constructed. I do see. I'd say it was a little bit boxy, especially looking from the front. I can see that definitely. But I liked it. I thought it was well. I love the wig with it, the makeup, that blush she put like around like her eye area.
Again, I didn't say the makeup was bad. It was the dress.
I'm just saying about other things I liked about the look.
Well, since you're just saying, I'm gonna just say that I should start calling you Shaquille O'Neal, because you sure enough got to reach on you, because that outfit was not. It was.
I don't think I'm reaching. I think it was cute. I give it a say.
I like your personal sense of style, so I'm not gonna question your taste.
Well, thank you.
Lalari Center.
My girl. I give it purgatory.
Purgatory.
It's in purgatory because it's okay. It's short. It's simple. It's black. I put simple but significant. I did like the jewelry she matched with it. Her makeup is stunning as always.
What color
I like
was
the
the
split back wig.
Was the jewelry black? Yeah.
No.
If she had been dripping in black jewels, maybe.
Oh, that would have looked fierce, actually. Yeah.
That would have, again, and it would have looked more, again. And then why the dress was so, you cannot have your ass and your panty and your little snatch. It's just not. It's not a look. It's not. And I don't know why she didn't. I don't know. I know the other girls must have had. They don't borrow stuff from each other more. I would have stole something out somebody's bag before I went out there and that. No, but you did it really good in the challenge, boo, and your skin and hair and makeup is always great per usual. But the dress is a no for me. Simone, the Ebony Enchantress.
Saints with a capital S. I put Shanae Show Nuff Salon with that hair in that dress. She looked great. That wig was everything. I liked the interpretation. I was talking with my friend, and all of Simone's interpretations of these runways have been really well thought out, have been smart, have been a little bit campy, but also still very fashion forward. She is it, like, to me.
I think Simone knows what challenges are the ones where she's going for safe and not going for, but like she's playing the game well, and that I appreciate. She's only taking up space when absolutely necessary because I like what she's doing, because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I know I don't know her, but I'm gonna trust this in myself. If I appreciate the maturity level, because you see these little moments where she want to say something a little shady, but then because she could have got a Mean Girl edit this season. I could feel it, but she's not letting it happen. I will say that this look is another reference. This is the Back to My Roots look from RuPaul's music video, and it's another reference. But the look was cute. I do like it. I do like it.
Yes. So we have tops and we have bottoms.
Yeah, so our tops this week are Olivia Lux, Tina Burner, and Elliot with 2 T's.
I guess. It was kind of unclear, but I think she's on the top.
And our bottoms are Utica Queen, Candy Muse, and Tamisha Iman. Holla at me, I know you know me. Do you agree?
No. This is all off. This is all wrong for me.
Okay, give me your top and give me your bottoms.
My top would have been Olivia. Olivia would have stayed. I would have put Lala Ri in the top because she ate that challenge. She didn't get a lot of camera time. But that choreography, if you look at her, she is killing it. And she looked great. And that last spot is open. I definitely want to put Tina there, and I want to put Elliot there. Because of my own personal bias, based on the look alone, I probably would have put Simone in the top, because for me that look was next level. So that would have been my top, and my bottoms would have been kind of the same. My bottoms would have been the same, but the bottom two would have been different. It would have been Candy and Utica as opposed to
so my top, Rose would have been in the top for me, and I think I blame Denali for why Rose wasn't in the top, because Denali's outfit was so ugly during the challenge. That challenge outfit was so
I was like, and this wig, I was like, this doesn't give me disco.
It was in the makeup, it was all horrid.
Yeah.
I thought I was watching a horror film or like a traffic accident. It was just so, and like I couldn't stop looking at it. It was so bad. But meanwhile, you look to the other side of the stage, and Rose
looked great.
She looked great. Oh, and that's literally the softest I've seen her face. That hair color really does. That blonde, that Ashley blonde looks so good on her.
Yeah. So maybe now that we're talking about it, maybe that last spot would have been reserved for Rose, because I loved her runway, as we talked about, and she did really good in the challenge. So
I would have
been Rose.
I would have left Tina. No, that dress would have just made me do the no. But Tina really did good in the performance. I
think I gave her a lot. Like,
well, you had to compare her to her group. Her group, though, look what. Yeah, I could have. I don't know. I just wanted Rose in the top. Elliot, I wouldn't have had in the top, and then I could have did Lala Ri instead of Tina. Too. My bottom three would have stayed the same. But my bottom two would have been Candy and Utica, and I actually would have had Candy go home over Utica in my mind. But I know that's not how it would have went. Like I just Candy has enough time to be a finale queen, and so does Utica. And that's the thing. At this point in the competition, I do think that the queens are very strong. I do think that their showing in terms of looks and gags and stuff has been made difficult by the pandemic, of which I can tell. Like the runway to me is the least elevated it's been since season 9. And I just charge that to the game. It's a pandemic outside. So our winner is the Olivia Luck. She gets her 5,000 doll hairs, and
Finally.
I am so glad that Olivia has won a challenge. She
And
she did good, and I still don't like how they edit her in the episode because even though she won, she didn't get a winner's edit in the episode to me.
yeah.
But yeah.
You would think
So
Lala Ree would have won.
right. Well,
Because
she
she narrates the show. Her
queen of
confessionals are the
confessionals.
best. Yeah.
When she go home, I don't know how. I don't know. I'm not gonna like the confessionals no more because they go. You know what they gonna do when she leave? They go fill up Tina Burner in there. All you get there and go ow,
Yeah.
ow.
And her
That's
talking
all she
about
gonna
not making candy.
do, girl. So the lip sync is "Hit 'Em Up Style"
Oh, I
from
love this song.
2001.
The
by
song selection this season is top tier. Like they have some really good lip sync songs this go around.
Yeah, the song is "Hit 'Em Up Style Oops" by Blue Cantrell. It is the leading single off their 2001 debut album, So Blue, and it is written and produced by Dallas Austin. This is one of my favorite songs as well. And I do think whoever the music director or the budget or whatever's going through, or it might be because of COVID and people want to make more money, so they like rights is going through
Yeah,
they didn't go through before.
that's right.
But the song selection is right. But I will say this. Like, "Hit 'Em Up Style" this episode, why would they not do a 70s hit? Or a song
Yeah,
that feels more 70s?
I
Even
feel
if
a
it's not a
similar
70s
way
song.
about the Train for Days because when I heard the runway was trains, I was like, oh, so the lip sync song is going to be a ballad. It's not going to be an upbeat like dancing song because they all going to be in
Right.
dresses.
Yeah, it should
Yeah,
have been a ballad.
so while the
Or they
songs
should have did
are
a song
great,
that's popular on
sometimes
Soul Train or something. Like, that shit
yeah,
wasn't...
sometimes they're not cohesive, and that was always the thing about Drag Race was that the lip sync song matched the challenge, matched the theme of the show. So while there are really good song selections this season, sometimes they really don't match with what's happening in the episode.
Yeah, and I don't like, and I'm gonna be honest, I want to make this comment before we close out this segment. Um, I didn't like that they didn't lip sync in the challenge. I don't think the dancing was elevated enough for them
Yeah,
not to lip sync also.
I was
Like
underwhelmed.
they should have been lip syncing, and those monologues, those girls should have had lines. It should have been Mama Rue's disco rusical or something like that. You know, it shouldn't have been that document. I don't like that. I don't want them to ever do that again.
Yeah.
Candy versus Tamisha. Candy versus Tamisha. How do you feel about the lip sync? Do you agree with the winner?
I feel like Candy was giving me Eureka verse. Who did she lip sync against that one time? In a bodysuit. Kardashian, Calorie Kardashian.
Calorie.
She gave me very that. I don't think it was on purpose. I think, and you know, we bias over here. We love Tamisha. But I think I would have given it to Tamisha. Like, Candy was obviously fighting. She did not want to go home. But when you talk about embodying the song, and I guess that's up for interpretation. Let me not say that. But like, if you put the TV on mute and had to guess what song she was lip syncing to, it wouldn't have been a song about taking a nigga's money. You would think that it was a song about like busting windows out of cars or being heartbroken or like crying over a nigga. And Tamisha was given very much, I'm the rich auntie, this nigga fucked me over, so here I am taking all his shit.
Yeah, so for me, the winner of that lip sync would have, and this is an honest to God answer, Tamisha would have won. I thought Tamisha was the superior lip syncer. However, I do think it was Tamisha's time to go. Because if not, I feel like you could kind of see develop throughout the episode a bit of fatigue and whatnot developing in Tamisha. And I just think it was a good time for them to go out before something happened or before they started to look like not be able to give a performance that they could look back and be proud of. At this point, I think everything that they have presented, they can look back and not be embarrassed about and feel good and strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, if in terms of the lip sync, I don't agree with anyone who thinks that Candy out lip synced Tamisha. And you know that the lip sync, the lip sync is save you for your life, but it's a cumulative experience for real. Cause when we see this time and time again, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes the girl who win the lip sync is not the one who stay, you know?
Yeah.
But Tamisha, when she at the end, when the hey ladies, that was the closest lip sync. Again, like you said, Candy's mouth wasn't lip syncing right for me.
Yeah,
And
like
when
she was
she laid
evoking
on the floor,
emotion, but it wasn't
why
like
did
the
she lay on
emotion
the
of the
floor
song.
like that? I did not like when she laid on the floor looking up
The
at the
girls
ceiling.
always do that. Yeah. It's becoming a theme. Like
Oh
when the
no.
song breaks down and it goes to that like
But on your
melancholy
back?
place. Girl, Candy was fine. She was doing whatever she had to do not to go home.
Oh yeah, she went to
And
I'm
part of
so
me gets that.
sorry.
Part of me
I'm so
respects
sorry.
that. But yeah. And I did like that moment, like when Tamisha left and she hugged her and Candy apologized. I think that moment really served as a reality check for Candy that
Yeah.
she was not doing as well as she thought she was, and she
And has
was
not
out of
been.
line. Yeah, and has not been, and was out of line with the way she completely went off. And she probably really does like and respect Tamisha, and she was just doing the most in that moment.
Yeah, and
Um,
Tamisha is grown, and I like how Tamisha's been handling it. I watched Tamisha's lives and her show, even though Tamisha is on a learning curve with the with the technology. She working on it,
that's like
but
me.
I be watching her stuff, and I watched her what you packing. Oh God, I hope she still gets to wear that finale dress. I hope the finale girls actually get to wear their finale dresses
I
that they
hope
all.
so.
But oh, it looks so pretty. She was like, "It's a blue iridescent, atop a nude mesh." She like know her stuff. Um,
Yes,
but again, we have said goodbye to the legend Tamisha. This is not
legend
the end. This is a
icon.
see you later. Like she said, she left with that beautiful pageant walk with the little to the left. It was cute. It was stunning. So much respect for her. Shout out to you, Tamisha Iman, the
Yes,
mother of the legendary, iconic empire and dynasty of the House of Iman. I know we have not seen the interview yet, and I am so ready to see you on All Stars. Um,
absolutely.
absolutely ready. And I cannot wait to see one of your gowns on a major runway because I know that
It's
the girls is
coming.
gonna be wearing your clothes.
Yes.
The girls gonna be wearing your clothes. Hey everybody. I'd like to thank you all again for tuning in to. Oh wait 1 second before we do our outro. What's your overall grade of the episode?
I give it like a D plus.
Yeah, I give it a C minus. I thought this was a meh episode of Drag Race. They hurt my feelings. It was unnecessary. It was the drama arc, the top and the bottom. The challenge was poorly produced. I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next week, we're gonna have T.S. Madison as a judge. I hope
Oh,
we
I
get to
can't
have him more
wait.
than once because it seems like the
Yeah.
judges are going to be doing more than one appearance to limit the amount due to COVID.
Hmm.
T.S. Madison, she deserves every flower that they go give to her, and I'm excited to
Yes.
see a
Mama
trans
got a new
woman.
show.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a trans woman get what is owed to her before she's dead, and I think that is
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. At this point, who do you think is going to go home next?
It got to be Ellie with two T's or Denali. Like it absolutely. Those have to be the next two to go. If anyone else besides those two leave in these next two episodes, maybe besides Candy. If Candy leaves, I'll be fine. But if anyone else leaves besides those three, give me my sign. Give me a cardboard box and a permanent marker because I'm going to protest.
Yeah,
um,
Lala
it has
Ree.
to be. It has to be one of those. Lala Ree needs to stick around. Like,
Yeah, but I don't know. I think for me the next it will either be I think Elliot with two T's is going next, but it might I feel like she might be lip syncing against Lala Ree. And we'll see. They and right now who is your winner?
Simone.
My winner is Simone currently as well. And I wouldn't be mad if Rose won, but great. Um, Thank you, everybody, for tuning in with us today for Drag from the Left, your weekly digital series where we review RuPaul's Drag Race and current social events from a radical leftist perspective. You can find us online at Drag from the Left or DRAGFTL on all social media platforms. We record our podcast live every Sunday starting at 6 p.m. Edited versions of our episodes are released everywhere podcasts are streamed except Apple Music right now, as well as YouTube the Wednesday following the recording. And in just a few seconds, we're going to go on to our exclusive after show, Call In, Call Out, where we get more into the social justice, politicalness fish of it all, yada yada. I am the hostess with the mostest, the very Reverend Dr. Juanita Bind'Em.
Yes, and this is Avery. My drag name this week is Addison Montgomery.
Yes. And we thank you. I'll see you all soon. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we're going to go in the call and call out.
Yes, we'll be back at 7:15 on the dot.
See ya.